us, but we did it, man. So this is gonna be a fucking epic conversation. I'm sure we owe the people at least that. Micah is a hustler in the scene down in Dallas, huge promoter of everything culinary and restaurant down there, server at Paradiso, behind the bar at the Botanist. And go check out episode 28 of the podcast. Our boy Randall Broad. Give a big shout out to Micah. Hear him on there as well. And we might see a Randall Broad sighting during this episode. Quick as always, go to Best Served Podcast Facebook page. Hashtag 86 coronavirus virtual tip on there. Get into that. And we also have the COVID-19 restaurant information thread where you can find real-time info and get connected with everything going on. But the 86 coronavirus, Mike, I want to jump right into that. And you hopped on there, and this is just the embodiment of kind of who you are as supporting other people in the industry across, just being a human. And you hit me up and said, hey, I want to support somebody, but I kind of want to be sneaky about it and not have it come from me. And so I was so inspired by that I personally reached out to them and gave them a little virtual tip. So I was excited about that because your energy and your passion for giving a shit about other people is clear. So I'm excited to have you on, man. How you doing today? Good. I'm glad to hear it. Let me actually get you on. Now people can see you. We've been having some issues, people. Okay, we're supposed to be in a kitchen, not on computers, so we don't know what we're doing. But Micah, so I want to go back to kind of when all this is starting to go down. You told me a story about how you're going through training process in the front of house, and give us that moment when you realized shit was hitting the fan.
Yeah, I mean, I literally just got out of training. It was my first day on the floor to actually start making full credit card tips and full tips. And literally, on TV, the whole restaurant was told that basically we're going to be closed for an indefinite amount of time, meaning that basically you're laid off immediately, no pay, no money in the bank, no plan, kind of good luck. Both restaurants that I was at were really cool. They paid us in full for training, gave us all of our tip money, and then cleaned out the fridges. Extra Hospitality down in Bishop Arts, who owns Paradiso and the Botanist. Gave a ton of produce, eggs, probably 10 pounds of broccolini. And it was just enough to get going and to get to the next step.
Yeah, I think that's important. We're so used to hospitality, taking care of other people. Sometimes it's hard for us. We forget to take care of ourselves a little bit, which is pretty important. It was funny. I was thinking about you as we're getting ready to do this morning. I have a daily routine that I've been doing the last 6-7 months to actually meditate. I'm on a fucking meditation app. Anybody who knows me is that's crazy. Jensen is the last person who'd be on meditation because I just go at a different frequency. But I was like, you got to slow down. You got to take a moment. And so I have a whole routine of doing a few exercises to get the blood flowing first thing in the morning, with some stretches. I do some meditation. I do some voice exercises to get this voice nice and crispy, and I look, and then I do a 5-minute journal, just what's my hustle for the day, kind of check in with myself, that kind of stuff. And I haven't done that since March 7th. I dropped off, because it's crazy right now. And so it was really important. This morning was the first time since March 7th, March 26th right now, that I took that time to do that. And I know that's super important to you. You talk about how you're working out a lot. You do a lot of yoga. And that's something that I think is needed. Whatever your thing is, have a thing. Talk about that for you a little bit.
Meditation's dope. I've been doing a lot of online Black Swan yoga live streams, they're also a donation-based yoga studio. They've been doing the online thing for a while. So they were when this happened, they were immediately all over the internet. Their YouTube channel is also really cool, Black Swan Yoga on YouTube. District Climb is it's an indoor climbing gym. One of my spin instructors, Jennifer Day Socorras, the girl you donated to, on the app, actually, she does YouTube videos. She has a 20-minute HIIT workout that just crushes me. So I basically turn my apartment up to 90 degrees, and I just crush that workout for 20 minutes, dude, and I'm dying. I'll do a little bit of yoga, It's really hard for me, honestly. My personal practice at home is not great. Everyone at Black Swan knows that. That's why I'm at the studio every day. But I do get a little bit of yoga in after those workouts. And then I'll do like handstands on the wall randomly. Like I'll go to my wall and like work on my handstands. And like if you can be upside down for 7 seconds and 7 full breaths, you get the full effect of like a handstand in the middle of a room. Just that blood rush and that blood flow upside down has helped me out a lot. And then I'll turn around and I'll sit up against the wall and put my legs up the wall and kind of, I wouldn't call it meditate, but I just kind of sit there and do like some restorative yoga. And that's kind of helped out a lot. And then I've had to pick up weights because all the gyms are closed. So I've been rocking these 35-pound dumbbells like I'm in jail. and then I have a 100-pound Rhodesian Ridgeback named Simba. So it's like spring break with a paycheck for him right now. 2 or 3 like really long walks a day. He's eating well. We're spending a lot of time together. That part of it's really cool. And I guess like for some people about like going out and like eating at these like service industry like donation places and taking handouts, I would say this is not the time to be embarrassed. Be like thankful and put it this way, I'll never forget anyone that helped me out in this period of time. Works helped me out, but honestly the first person I called was my mom. She lives in Fort Worth, Texas, owns a catering company, and it's one of those situations where I don't know, I'm sure you've seen the chefs or like, especially moms who like cryovac and save everything, right? You're like, oh my God, I can't believe you're saving the pork tenderloin, or you're cryovac the guacamole, or, something like that. And so anyway, I hit her up immediately when I found out the news, and she said, Micah, meet me in Fort Worth. I'm going to drop, a to-go box for you basically at a set location. And it was about $250 worth of food. A lot of it had been cryovac from a barbecue company, and I had brisket, probably like 10 pounds of brisket, like peanut butter, all kinds of crazy shit, roast beef, beans, rice, toilet paper. It's like she knew what was like not in my apartment. And that got me to the point where I could get back to Dallas. And she also threw me $40 in cash for gas money. So I was able to go to these places like Paradiso, Harwood Hospitality. My old general manager, Nora Shields, reached out, sent me like a case of eggs, a whole cheesecake, ton of produce. They own like 7 different restaurants at Harwood. Tay DeSeo is probably their most popular and happiest hour. But they were huge. Front Burners doing a lot of cool stuff right now for people. Ferris Wheeler's Barbecue and Primo's Uptown has been hooking me up with barbecue and Mexican food on the fly.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, you just can't be embarrassed. You got to be like, hey, that's like $10, $15 value. It's something to do in the middle of my day, and I'll catch it back to them. When they do reopen and stuff like that. Like I'll probably go in for like $2 margaritas on Tuesday and over tip the shit out of the entire staff. Like that's the kind of thing you got to do is just pay it back when you can right now.
Yeah, I just love the attitude. I knew there was going to be this kind of energy because you're just like perpetual motion, right? You personally, and then just always looking how to be interconnected with people across the industry is so important to you. That's clear from 5 seconds of knowing you. And so I want to unpack a couple things that you said. One is that we are so good again at helping other people that we don't help ourselves enough. And it's so easy to be prideful about it. But look, we've been paying hospitality to others for so fucking long. It's a good time for people to support us and for us to allow that to happen because I think it shows our humanity. And so I think that's really great. We're going to link up a couple of the spots that you're talking about because I think it's important for people to know where they can get that resource and hold your fucking head high because you got to do what you got to do. So that hustle is super important. And just staying active. You threw a couple things out to me. You're like, hey, I'm just going to find whatever. You talked about Chewy.com. You're like, I might be landscaping. And I love it. Is it what you love to do? No, you want to be in a restaurant. You want to be on the kitchen side or you want to be behind the bar. You want to be interacting with guests, whatever that is. But you're going to do what you got to do to get back to that. So talk about that where you're just like getting creative to look for places to work because a lot of people in the industry don't even know where to start looking because they're so used to working just in restaurants.
I would suggest just like start looking anywhere that'll hire you because this is only temporary. My first job, I got a link from my mom and sister. They're like, go to Chewy.com. They'll hire you on the spot. They're hiring a warehouse position. I would have never taken it before. $13 an hour has benefits, and it's a lot better than being unemployed. So at worst case, April 1st, I'm unloading 18 wheelers full of dog supplies and, dog food, pet toys, and whatever. today I might be doing landscaping for another chef. I helped another chef move last week, Josh Bonet, for $100. You know, and that got me to the point where, you know, I could even finish training at my last job. Little stuff like that, you just kind of have to do that right now, and know that these restaurants are going to be open back up as soon as they can. I'm hoping, you know, I'm hoping after Easter, but like, you know, that's not up to me. My only job is to keep like any kind of revenue stream staying busy until like we get a set final date.
Fucking A, man. So restaurants opening back up. You and I have bantered about this a little bit of what happens. There's going to be changes and shifts, and you definitely had some stuff that you were wanting and hoping to see. Talk about a little bit when you get back into the restaurant, when people are like, all right, what does it now really mean for us to be a part of this restaurant community? What are the couple of things that you want to see happening in restaurants that would inspire you and push you and motivate you when you get back into the scene?
Well, definitely the same level of sanitation that we're seeing everywhere right now would be cool. And most restaurants are like that, but like, let's be real. Like, I want to say, like, they need to be as transparent as possible. Keep it clean for multiple reasons. Like, the cleaner the kitchen, the cleaner the food. The technological advances should be cool. Like, you know, I hope they get to a point where I can go in and, you know, I can get my retina scanned and they'll know my order and scan my debit card, ready to go.
You want some Minority Report type shit, huh?
Yeah, I do. It's 2020. You know, I'm ready for that. For servers to be treated more like servers from the guest, and for servers to treat the guests more like guests as well. You know, like lose the condescending, like sales hustle, or treating your server like they're your waiter or just a waiter. You know, they're a fucking human being, dude. And at the same time, so is your guest. Your guest is paying your bills, so like maybe be a little more respectful to them as well. You know, about like, you know, that's not just like a family of four with an annoying kid that's drinking a lot of Dr. Pepper. Like, hey, dude, that guy's like paying my Netflix bill or paying my gym membership right now or whatever. You know, like I think if we as servers, especially in the front of the house, like act more professional, I think we'll be treated more professional. And I think after this is a very like humanizing experience for both parties. That I think you'll see that, and hopefully it gets to a point where, you know, health, like basically restaurant workers get health insurance. You know, they're treated as industry professionals and they act accordingly. Better pay, wasn't hurt either. But like just start with any kind of health insurance, you know, would be a start as well.
Man, sanitation. It's funny when I see restaurants posting about that. We've increased our sanitation efforts. I'm like, what the hell were you doing before? I don't even want to know. Maybe you're just trying to reassure people. I get it. However, I've been in a lot of kitchens and been to a lot of restaurants, and some of them, sanitation is a four-letter word that they can't spell. You know, so I could not agree with that more. And hospitality on both sides of the equation. To your point, we definitely got high on our own supply for quite a while, where we went from being the island of misfit toys, that fucking band of rebels, like we didn't fit in, we were counterculture, to all of a sudden we were the cool kids. And sometimes we treated people like they were lucky to be at our restaurants. And I think now we're getting humbled for sure. And I like the fact that you're thinking that in the long term could be a good thing for us, even though there's a lot of pain that's going to come from that process is going to be important. And then right now, people looking at restaurants, not just as a place that's transactional for them, but now they're like, these people need us now as much as we thought we needed them for the experience. So I like everything that you're saying, man. I really appreciate it. People need to listen up for sure. Where's Randall? Is he like poking around, dude?
Yeah, he's like smoking a bullet. No, I'm just...
Yeah. There we go. What's up, Randall?
Gotta keep our social distance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
6 feet away at least.
Micah, switch places with him. You get back there. You be the hype man in the background.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Randall Broad, what's going on, man?
what's up?
For everyone watching, it still says you're Micah Lauderdale, but
Yeah.
Randall Broad, what's going on, man? Tell us what's happening in your world right now.
Where there's a few of us that are a part of this initiative trying to make sure that our SI family, brothers and sisters, are being fed and staying fed. It's called the Family Meal Initiative. It's through the Heard That Foundation. It's run by Will Salisbury, great guy. Last year he had throat cancer and was needing, his insurance was only going to pay for so much, so he needed some financial help, and it's like there's got to be a better way for chefs and people in the industry to get these things. So instead of having to do dinners and charity events and stuff like that to get people to donate money, just so we can live and provide for these people, it's kind of a sick cycle. So he created the Heard That Foundation, and that it's geared towards helping people in the industry who don't have insurance, who are in medical financial need. They help with stuff like that and events. And right now we have this thing where we're feeding people, our SI family. We're having my office that I cook for, that I'm a chef for. We donated about $800 worth of my product to them because it was just going to go to waste. There's a lot of restaurants in the area that have donated. Chef's Produce, one of our local produce companies, Richard Torres, who owns them. They've been sending out produce boxes and donating food for us. And Profound Farms are donating their greens and lettuces and stuff like that. A lot of farmers they're pulling together. We're all in this together, and they have this food that in abundance, and if they can give it away, just to give it away so it doesn't go to waste, or sell it at a cheaper rate, it's being used and utilized, and we're just seeing this great effort and this movement. I guess Will called it a grassroots movement yesterday, but it's this movement where we're just trying to feed people and keep people fed and make sure that they know that they're not alone and they're not in this by themselves.
To the point that Micah made right now, all the pretense is gone.
Yeah.
Any status we thought we had because we had some chops, because there was an article about us, nobody cares about any of that right now.
Yeah.
Which I think is potentially long term, once we get through this, going to be a good thing. Like we're saying it's just about feeding people. That's the only thing that matters, because that's the only thing we can do right now. And so I think that's really important. Reflect on that a little bit as you're thinking about starting up your place. You got plans for bringing Filipino cuisine even more into the zeitgeist of Dallas, Fort Worth area. And you're saying, this is
I don't
what
even care about that right now. That's not even on my radar. If I make Filipino food, it's for family meal for my brothers and sisters in industry. That, like last night we did chicken adobo, garlic fried rice, and teriyaki glazed broccoli. That's Filipino right there, and that's my hand and influence in that, and that's all I really care about. And people enjoy it. That's fine, and people are getting fed. And that, right there, like you said, that's the most important thing. People are getting fed. People know that they're not alone, and so
and people are going to have a connection to food in a completely different way and a deeper way than they ever had. So for you, chicken adobo means something. Somebody else has your chicken adobo, they go, oh, that's delicious. But now they're going, that's keeping me alive. That's keeping me part of this community. That's you truly giving a shit about me. So that's what I really like, because now chicken adobo means something else to a lot more people.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
And that's important.
Yeah,
it's important.
So when I Filipino food later on after this, because I wholeheartedly believe that this is temporary. This will pass. We just got to get on the other side of the curve, and once we do, things will. Then we can settle and make the changes that need to be made, and so that we don't suffer if something like this happens again. Whether it's through lobbying in Washington D.C. or just small pockets of people in various groups and cities just doing their thing. So it's going to change, and I look forward to that. But right now, our main focus, our only focus, is just to make sure people are fed, make sure they know they're not alone, and that the community is still alive, it's still thriving, it's still up and running. The people still care. So.
Good. We got a watch party going right now with this live feed in the DFW Corona Connection, one of the support Facebook groups that you guys have. Randall, please get back into this and link up everything you've been talking about, because people need those resources, not only in Dallas very specifically, but I like everything you're talking about, because I think it's a good roadmap for other cities to look at the way that some of the things that are happening and being done well. And it sounds like you guys,
it may not be the exact platform they want, and they may be able to pull some ideas that will help with what they've got going on that might fit for their city and their community. But Heard That Foundation is the nonprofit organization.
Yep.
Will Salisbury Salisbury. He's the guy that created and run that. Him and his wife Britt run that. There's a group of chefs and industry leaders in the area that are part of the board. They're chair board members of the foundation. So it's people within the community. They know that what people in the industry need. It's not just somebody who's working in city council or something like that. It's like people in the industry, people from our communities who know what's needed and what people actually go through. So Will Salisbury heard that foundation. The initiative is called Family Meal Initiative. I'm not quite sure if we have a page for that yet, but I'm sure if you just type in Family Meal Initiative, it'll pull up something. You'll either see the post, or if there is a page, you'll see the page as well.
Cool. I'm throwing some of that in there, and then we'll circle back and make sure that there's links to everything, because people need this today, tomorrow, and the next day. Randall, my friend, so good to see you. Let's get Micah back on. Yeah, one last thought.
Quick, it's Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. for people who are locally or anywhere else. So you want to come in, and so this is not just for Dallas people. If you're in Houston and you have a chance to come up, and whatever, we don't suggest that. Stay safe, stay home, shelter in place. But if there's a need and you are in Dallas, we will feed you. So
good, glad to hear it. Randall, my friend, appreciate you. Yes. Stay safe, Micah. Just stop touching your face, man.
I'm trying. Every day I'm getting better at it.
It's a trip, man. Going to the even to like Whole Foods. We live right by a Whole Foods in our bougie neighborhood here in North Denver. And I'm wearing black nitrile gloves, and I got a face mask on and my sunglasses, and I always wear all black. I look like a fucking criminal walking into the Whole Foods.
They had us lined up 50 at a time at the Whole Foods uptown on McKinney Avenue yesterday. Police were outside. It was like a nightclub, like one in, one out, 50 customers at a time.
Crazy right now. All right, let's end with some binge-worthy positivity. Give us some of the things that you're listening to, that you're watching, that you're reading, that you're playing, whatever is keeping you sane in these moments. Give us something that we can check out.
For me, my favorite is Aubrey Marcus podcast, founder of On It, down in Austin, Texas. He just stepped down as CEO, but he is the founder. He's still the owner or whatever. Anyway, his podcast I've been listening to for over a year since I went through yoga teacher training at the Black Swan Yoga. They're also the parent company of Black Swan Yoga. So the Aubrey Marcus podcast, and then his friend Whitney Miller has a really nice dating podcast as well. Sounds funny, but it's really whimsical and very entertaining. And basically, I get the Aubrey Marcus, Whitney Miller, and then I'll look at the online workouts from On It and Black Swan. So it kind of ties it in together, where I get my mental clarity and then physical workout out of it. Because all you can do right now is kind of manifest your own what you want to see and what you want to be after this is over, when we can go back to work. And that's
all you can control right now, man. Keep up the hustle, the positivity, keep connecting people to other good people, man. That is your mission in life, clearly, and I appreciate being a part of that. Thank you very much for talking with us, my friend.
No, thank you.
All right, brother. Be good. Be safe. Keep that face mask on.
Later.
That guy. I love that guy. The energy. He is just such a promoter of everything that is hospitality. And I know so much about Dallas-Fort Worth restaurant scene because of Micah, including Randall was on the podcast. And go check that episode out, because Micah is also on Randall's episode. I think it's episode 28 of the Best Served Podcast. You can check out our website, bestservedpodcast.com. Links on our Facebook page, or wherever you get your podcast, Best Served Podcast, you can find that episode with Randall. And then Randall gave a shout out to Micah as one of his hashtag unsung hospitality heroes that we do in every episode, so that we can always pay forward the love and get more people acknowledged, which is so important. And so Randall, I heard about Not Your Lolas and what Randall and Daniel and that whole crew was doing from a post that Micah shared. So it was really great that came full circle, and then that the two of them we're on this live together. That is Micah in a nutshell. So appreciate that and appreciate all of you. As always, my weird routine of trying on a hat for anybody watching the first time. As a goof, I threw a couple hats on the wall behind me, and now I'm literally trying on a hat every episode. So send me a hat. I would love to promote you guys, you know, all 500 people that end up seeing this video. It's not much, but hey, if I can show you guys some love, I'd love to. This is actually the love for the wife, Betsy, who keeps our family happy and healthy. She is an absolute dynamo. We are so lucky to have her, us Cummings boys. I don't know how she deals with our crazy energy, but a little Plexus hat. Plexus is a supplement product company that she works with, and we've been taking the products for a lot of years. It keeps our blood sugar balanced, and it keeps our energy up, and we've been big fans of it. And especially right now, we've been using their probiotic a lot, because keeping that immune system healthy is more important than ever, it feels like, when you look at what's going on. So big shout out to Betsy and Plexus. Thank you as always for watching. Tune in tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's noon on the East, 9 a.m. on the West. I'll be talking to Denise Mickelson. I'm literally talking to Denise Mickelson in like 5 minutes. I forgot that it took forever for us to get this episode going with Micah because of technical difficulties. So I'm literally hopping off this and talking to Denise next. So just stay tuned. How about that? Denise Mickelson is the food editor of 5280 Magazine in Denver. So we're going to talk a little bit about social media. We're going to talk about the loss of a really iconic chef yesterday from this fucking coronavirus BS. And we're also probably going to talk a little bit about guilty food pleasures. So tune in to that. Thank you. Cheers.